It's starting. Hi, hey. I finally actually want to. My laptop needs to be charged. And there we go. Finally, I just want to rant a little bit because I finally actually want to make a goddamn video. Surprisingly enough, on the fifth day of summer. God damn it, computer! Fifth day of summer or something close to that. It basically has both of my favorite topic: hypocrites and the attack of the children. First one concerns about the shit that I hate the most, which is basically how the internet, and in general in life, because the internet is filled with real people. Yes, I know, very surprising. People that type out comments and shit are actual real people. Not all of them, by all means. But if you take, say, a chunk of 1 billion comments, and let's say 10% are real people, and the rest 90% are full of bots and shit, that still makes it. Let me just use my very fancy calculator right here. Like 100 million. So 100 million. Why the fuck did I need to calculate that? I'm stupid. Either way, 100 million real people that typed out that comments. So in a sense, the internet is filled with real people, and it only gets worse when you have actual video evidence. But I mean, you'd say, okay, let's say 10% of that 10 million is actually writing opinions and all the other shit like that. That's like 1 million people still. 1 million people. And let's say half of that has what you could consider a stupid opinion of some other shit like that. Shit that just makes you mad, in a sense. Shit that's just like, but why? But why? And they actually think it. Even then, that would still make it like 500,000 people. 500,000 actual people who believes in this shit, who preach this shit in real life. The thing about it is that so many people on the internet and in real life in general are contradicting themselves every single fucking moment of the day. I'm no exception. I do this sometimes. You know, I'm gonna come in with a fun contradiction, but actually try to improve somewhat, and I try to put myself out of this goddamn group because I don't like it. I don't like the group. That a good one would be saying like, oh, all humans are beautiful. It's not the face that matters, it's what insides that matter. And yet, if you spend any extended period of time with them, you would see that they would call other people ugly. Yep, those people exist. You don't need to look far. You don't need to look far and wide. It could be your fucking family member, for all I know. It could be one of your friends as well. Some people would preach, say like, a fun one, a fun thing if I get cancelled over this, would be stuff like racism, homophobia, stuff like that. The thing about it is that I have this conversation with myself in the bathroom in front of the mirror. Yes, I'm not insane. Was that people, in a sense, preach all these wonderful woke thing on Twitter, on social media and shit. But at the same time, the whole point of these claims, like say, oh, you should accept all races because we are all human, that goes with, say, gay people, queer people, LGBTQ plus people, and such, shit like that as well. When you claim that, you are, in a sense, doing hashtag unrelatable shit. Because a lot of time, whenever people that extra preaches this shit, I'm not saying the people that actually is in these community and try to say, okay, no, we're not that bad, we're just like you, but like, you know, it's kind of like porn. People watch different porn. People just has different genres of it that they like. Some likes this, some's like that. It's just like food. Some people like chicken, some people don't like chicken. You know, people would say try to preach some shit like that, but I'm saying like the woke extreme people like say, oh no man, I also take the pronoun they them. blah blah blah, I'm actually somewhat gay as well, I'm somewhat like fluid gender and shit. I swear to God, there's probably some like actual people from the LGBTQ community that's just like, no, we also fucking hate the hundreds of extra genders that people have, like fluid gender or some other gender, Apache attack helicopter, some shit like that, because they would probably think to themselves, but why, but why, but why? But either way, back to the topic at hand. These extra people that preaches all these shit would at the same time on social media preach shit such as hashtag relatable. They watch things that are relatable, that is close to them, which doesn't make sense because you're preaching the exact opposite. You are preaching that people should go into the uncomfort zone, go to things that is outside of their comfort zone. If you spend your entire life around, say, or like German people, and then say a flood of migrants from another country comes in, and then you start thinking to yourself, well, I don't like this because this situation is extremely different from what I have experienced. But then you get literally shit on by a bunch of woke Twitter people and other social media motherfuckers that says, no, you're being racist and shit. Of course you would be pissed as shit. I would be pissed. And that's stupid. You are contradicting yourself when you always say, oh yes, getting my Starbucks on a Sunday morning, hashtag relatable. Oh, I have depression or some shit. I'm like all other Gen Zers, for some reason having an excess of mental health problems or some other shit like that. Oh no, my $10,000 MacBook Air Apple product broke down today. Over my Starbucks or some bullshit like that. And yet at the same time, they push shit just like, oh no, Black Lives Matter, oh no, people of color matter, people of other gender matter. I'm gonna get fucking canceled over this shit. But no one watches my channel, so I'm not gonna get canceled. But if I ever blow up someday, I will get canceled. However, I digress. But it's just, you are preaching shit that is close to your home. It is close to your immediate circle. And yet you are pushing this shit onto other people and telling them to like go into unknown areas. That truly pisses me off. How about you go into the unknown area? Yeah, an argument that a lot of people likes to say as well is just like, say, how about you do it? You didn't do it. Oh, why should I do it? And then, but that's education. That's the point of education. We fucked up so that you don't have to fuck up. That's why the saying, I walk so you can run, is a thing. That's the point. It's like, it's kind of like this. A fitness industry wonderful thing would be people say, why should I take an advice from a steroid user? Or like, but then shit like how to not get into prison, you would take advice from, say, I don't know, a prisoner. you would. Or like, oh, what drugs to avoid, you would probably take advice not from a doctor but from a drug addict, because they would fucking know. So then why would you not take advice from, say, a person who's on roids, who's on PDs? They would know way more than you, wouldn't they? They somehow don't have a competitive advantage. Of fucking course it does give that. That doesn't mean you still don't have to push your fucking ass to the limits. It's so bullshit what a lot of these people say. And that's basically what I'm trying to say. Next time you hear some people contradict shit in their saying, like very clearly, say, I don't know, they say, oh yes, all for gay people and other shit like that, no homophobes, fuck homophobes. But then at the same time, they judge other people harshly, or even the other shit like that, and people like judge them hardcore. Like it's an agenda of them sometimes that you feel as if they just like judge people, or like they see people and they say they're really ugly. Jesus Christ, oh my God, look at Harry Kane, he's so ugly, or some shit like that. Think to yourself back if you really want to be their friends. or if you want to point out this shit to your friends or anyone or your immediate family member and ask them, you should probably change. It's like, if say, I don't know, you live in a family who's let's say your father's racist or something, you belong to the woke Gen Zs, and you're like, Dad, being racist is not really cool, but you yourself, if I put a stranger in your group of friends, you say stranger danger, who the fuck is this person? Even though when you preach this thing of like, oh, you shouldn't judge races, you're basically saying you should be comfortable with the uncomfortable. If you live your entire life in a community, in a group, and then suddenly there is these like bunch of people just like rushing in, it doesn't matter if they're different races or not. It literally does not. It doesn't even have to get to that point. They could just have a different idea about how things should function. And then boom, you have conflicts. You don't need to get up to skin color or some shit like that. So in my opinion, it's just like, sometimes review your shit. Learn, yes. Knowledge is power. Learn. God damn. Next time you see someone's racist or not, just really think to yourself, why would they be like this? And am I really putting out a good fight against their argument? Because it's just like, yes, you could very much say, oh, people are all people, you shouldn't be afraid of them. I could also tell you, a stranger is also people, you should accept them. You should accept them into your group of friends. Why not? Your friends are talking, a hobo comes up, they haven't showered in 5 days, they smell horrible. Yeah, should you like wrench away, or should you say like, oh, welcome in, we accept everyone, yes. Really review your goddamn arguments, please, for fuck's sake. It's like, yes, there was some shit about, you can talk about all that shit you want, but my point here is that people are contradictory. I am no different. I will do shit that is contradictory, that is hypocritical. But for fuck's sake, at least try to improve upon this shit. Do what the shit that you actually preach. Some of them could say like, oh, no body shaming, it's the inside that counts, the inside that counts. Okay, and yet you judge people on their fucking appearance? Makes sense. Makes sense, you know. At least I tell people that, yes, you are clinically defined as overweight or obese. At least I will fucking tell them that. Sure, it'll hurt their goddamn feelings, but if I can fucking do something against it, like say I'll tell them, yeah, you should probably get, I don't know, an elliptical machine or whatever cardio machine that you like, do some cardio. You should clean up your diet. And yeah, you know, you are clinically overweight or obese. Yeah, you should do something about it. I'd rather hurt their feeling, but at least if I could have an impact on, you know, the inside shit, it's called their heart. If I could have an impact on their heart, tell them, yo, you should get your heart to be healthier, I would fucking do that. I would not hesitate. Why would I? If it's your friend, this is another thing. If it's your friend and they get butthurt of the fact that you call their body a certain way to just, for all your intention, help them, then really, you know, review back your relationship with your friend. Just saying, yeah. I would do that. Just because it's like, yeah, that sounds like a fucking red flag. Either way. I was gonna make this 8 minute, but fuck it. I'll tell you another one. The attack of the children. This is another fun one. Arguing your parents. In my opinion, argue with your parents. No matter who the fuck you are, you should argue with your parents. On some basis, not all the time. You shouldn't argue all the time. But basically, you say your parents does some weird shit. Like say, I don't know, they would say they look through your phone. Imagine there's a phone. They go through your phone and you don't particularly like it. Then they would immediately ask, what do you got something to hide? Oh, we don't find anything in the family. F is for family. We bonded out, we must have nothing to hide. Or some other shit like that. And then, you know, you feel very uncomfortable with it. I wouldn't feel particularly uncomfortable, since reasons. I have countermeasures. Fuck yeah. Just put up some dumb shit on your phone that your parents like look through like this thing. What the fuck is this? Just get an app that locks everything. Those apps exist. There are alternatives. And basically, you would of course want to get back at your parents. In my opinion, explain to them why you're uncomfortable. Explain to them this is an intrusion to my privacy, which still exists even if we're family. It doesn't mean that somehow when we're family, you are me and I am you, and we should share everything together. That's bullshit. Not even lovers get to that point. And so, what the fuck is the point of me sharing everything with you? Surprise, surprise, there are some shit I would rather keep secret than not. Let's say, like, I don't know, you get pulled over by police. You would feel uncomfortable, wouldn't you? You wouldn't just be like, oh, willy-nilly, blah, 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 blah. No, you would feel somewhat uncomfortable. You would ask yourself, oh, did I do something wrong? And even if you try to rationalize with yourself, say like, oh, if I didn't do anything wrong, I shouldn't be worried. It's still an incursion on your privacy. Suddenly just getting pulled over by this authority figure that suddenly can arrest you, bring you to shit that would waste a lot of your time, legal suits and everything, and you don't know a smidge of what you did wrong. You fucking don't. So if say you look at your phone, like your parents looked at your phone, they see some shit that they're just like, oh, what's this? You suddenly get into this shit of, I have to explain, I have to put so much resources into explaining to my parents what this or that thing is. And for them at the end not to understand, and then boom, I get this authority figure that is just like reigning over me, that's like asking all these shit. Of course you would feel uncomfortable, okay? But this is the thing I'm trying to put across. Your parents are humans at the end of the day. No matter how dictatorial they are, no matter how authoritarian they are over you or some other shit like that, you still have the power to do something against them because they are humans at the end of the day. You are human at the end of the day. Humans make mistakes. Humans do dumb shit. Human has a lot of contradictions that we have already explored. Humans unnecessarily want to think they are special snowflakes. And that is completely fine. That is human nature. Human nature, in my opinion, says that we are somewhat egotistical. Good example would be Gen Zers saying all the time, oh no, I look so bad or some shit. And I'm thinking that's not egotistical. Egotistical, by definition, technically is only overthinking of oneself. It doesn't matter if you're good or bad. It is just you think about yourself way too much, don't you? Really think about it. At the end of the day, you don't care you don't really care if society does this or that. You care if society affects you and your immediate vicinity of circle at the end of the day. Whereas yes, there are complete, definite against argument to this. I could also say, when you really look at it on the extreme part, at the very, very last end of the day, you care for yourself, no one else. And when someone comes into your circle, the only shit you give about them is how they would affect you. Overly thinking of yourself. Extremely egotistical. Which in my opinion, yeah, that's kind of how society functions, basically. How humans function. You could say this is a very grim thought. I would say somewhat disagree, because from this grim thought, it just basically means that there are many wonderful things that could happen when, in a sense, these two egotistical idiots, humans, could work together, because that basically means the goal that they follow or trying to accomplish is either bigger than them, or they somehow make a very damn good compromise. So I would say that's that. But basically what I'm trying to say is that, if your parents are having power over you, some shit like that, talk back to them. Quite literally, trying to explain to them, no, mom, dad, that's bullshit. That is fucking bullshit. Call them a child if you must. No joke. Because it's just like, Being older than someone doesn't necessarily mean you just have more power than them or you are somehow smarter than them. This is the thing with parents. They should be as accepting as the kid or as to them in a sense. If the parent does some bullshit to the kid, that doesn't mean the kid should just sit in silence and take it. That's bullshit. It's kind of like, think back to like the feudal system, Confucianism or some shit like that. The king, at the top here has to do good to the peasants. And the peasants then in turn do good for the king. This is a two-way system, okay? It's not just like, oh yeah, the king do, like the peasants do good to the king, and then that's it. That's how you get revolution. That's how you get people that hate you. That's how you get tension. That's how you get conflict. So basically, I don't know, probably one of my friends watching this, and if you can share it with anyone, just basically saying that if you have a problem with your parent, talk to them. This thing, and this vocal cord and this shit up here is basically our only way of communicating. Like, very clearly, our only way of communicating. Body language, the mouth, the throat, and this shit up here is our way of communication. Right? We can't just like, do shit poorly and expect people to understand, yes, yeah, I did wrong in that and that and that, and I should fix that and that and that. Communicate with them. Talk with them. Shit on them if you must. Argue with them hard. To genuinely tell them and come across as, yo, I really fucking hate this, or this thing I genuinely find really bullshit, and try to support your argument. Your parents are humans at the end of the day. As you grow up, as they watch you grow, you should also watch them grow. Life is a long trek of things. Your growth spurt, your growth process doesn't end when school ends and you stagnate for the rest of your life until the day you die. That's stupid. That is stupid. You should strive to learn every day. Something new, something little. It doesn't matter if it's a lot or not. But as said, parents are human. You should argue with them. And as they watch you grow, you over there, so should watch them grow. Which is why, in my opinion, if you find some bullshit thing from your parents that you really don't like, tell them it. Communicate it to them. Just like argue in their face. That's the end of my rant. God damn it, there's a lot of bullshit in this world that I really hate. But I'm just asking everyone that have watched this video to think carefully about the shit that you're gonna do. Think it through. Think it through, more or less. This is basically what I'm telling you to do. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm just recommending, because I don't want to tell anyone to do whatever the fuck it is. I find that's extremely ineffective. My voice is very shit. No one ever listens to it. So this is my recommendation. Nothing before you act, but I would say just try to use this thing up here, this thing upstairs. Use it upstairs. Don't let it gather dust. And to say the least, if you can learn something new, learn it. If you can argue something, in my opinion, argue it. Try the best as you can to argue it. And in my opinion, learn to be a loser and learn to be a winner. Because once you get those things down, in my opinion, you're set. You're set in a lot of things in life. Not a lot of people can accept that they lost something. And not a lot of people can just accept that they have won at something, to say the least. You'd say at the end of the day, it's just a sharing of info or some other shit like that. You'd say that. you'd say that. But people like to think of it as winning and losing. In my opinion, at the age of goddamn 40, you should know when you lost an argument or when you have won an argument. You don't have to shove it in everyone's face. But that's just a recommendation. At the end of the day, you do whatever you want. It's your life. If anything, I'll be very interested. Yes, here comes my hypocritical statement. Even though I'm recommending everyone not to do something, I'll tell you this. Do it. Do all the shit that I just said to do. Like, do the opposite of it. Not argue with your parents. Be as contradictory as you want to be. Because I'll tell you this. You give me more content to do. That's one. Secondly, it's a good look into the human psyche. So, I'll be interested. Other than that, this has gone long enough. I need to work on history. Yes, you can totally see what's written on this paper. I need to work on history because, you know, IAs and shit. Other than that, I'll end the video that was supposed to be 8 minutes. But I went on a rant for way too long because I like rants. But no one's gonna watch this video. I should shut up.